Good Saturday, beginning, afternoon, wherever you're at. It's about 1:32 Central Time. There's about 12 of you in here. If you can hear me, let me know in the comments, please. I'm not 100% sure. I don't have a monitor for that to hear myself on the live stream yet, and I don't want to turn the volume up over here. So let me know in the comments what we're sounding like. And you'll notice that today I changed the name of the stream to Coming Soon Saturday. So we're going to talk about some of the things that are coming. If you can hear me, let me know in the comments. Give me a thumbs up. People are filtering in. Once again, the live streaming PC sent over by Lenovo, so I want to thank them for providing that. Few people filtering in, but all right. Joey from Belgium, how you doing, Joey? Joey says the sound is perfect in Belgium, so that is good. We're going to open this up today. We are going to take phone calls, and but we're going to talk about my box of goodies that's over here that we have videos coming soon. So I have a lot of videos that are going to be coming on Grandstream. There's a lot of exciting things happening. A lot of people have been asking about the Grandstream 6300 series of the UCM device, and that is now in beta. I don't have one yet, but it is in beta, so that's coming. And hey, Nebraska in the house and Amsterdam, I want to thank you guys for being here. So Grandstream also has new IP cameras coming out, some more access points. I'm going to release a video this week about the Grandstream, the GWN Manager software. So that's exciting. I can't wait. But then I have almost all of the Grandstream phones, and we're going to do a video on each of those phones. We'll do videos on all of the Grandstream devices that I have. So I'm pretty excited about that. Grandstream's offerings are becoming stronger on the networking side all the time. They're already great for voice over IP, but they are going to be, and I actually already consider them a serious contender because we do deploy their access points, and they're just solid and stable. We don't have any problems with them. We don't have any firmware glitches and things like that. They just run. So you're going to see a lot more content on that, and they are very affordable. And we're going to have, I'm going to be teaching training classes so you can become Grandstream certified and all that good stuff. So you'll have to stay tuned for that. And right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some of this stuff that we're going to show off. But if you have any questions, whether it's IT related or whatever, ask them in the comments and I will answer those questions. But real quick, I'm going to grab a box of stuff and drag it over here, and we'll take a look at it. I actually have several boxes of stuff that we'll be looking at during the live stream. So the first thing we're going to look at is I posted a picture of this on social media, and this people were guessing what this is, and I wanted people to guess. Some people guessed. They probably just looked up the model or whatever was right here on the sticker. But this is a Wi-Fi 6 card. So it will actually go into the streaming rig, and then we will do, what we're going to do is I'm going to do comparisons of the AC wireless that we're on now, and then we'll put this card in. I'll actually use this to connect to the AC wireless. So we've got like an apples to apples comparison. We'll connect to the AC with this. We'll run our speed tests. Then we will hook up a Wi-Fi 6 router, and you're probably asking which Wi-Fi 6 router, and it would be the one that a few of us who do Ubiquity videos are being sent, and that would be the Amplify Alien. Now, I did buy the Wi-Fi 6 card myself, but Ubiquity did send over the Amplify Alien. So I'll have a video on this in the next week or two. And there's all kinds of reviews out there already. You know, some of those paid reviews, they are what they are. I'm going to do my testing a little bit differently than everybody has done it so far. So it'll be interesting to see how it works out. So this is pretty exciting. Multi-gig, it says. Yeah, I'm super excited about this, actually. So because a portion of our house does run on the Amplify HD, we're going to upgrade to this, which will be fantastic. All right, so we got some comments coming in here. Hey, Jordan, and hey, Czech Republic in the house. And Zach says, hi, Willie, thank you for getting my controller working again. No problem, Zach. It was a pleasure. All right, next thing that we have in the box that we will have videos coming on is Ubiquiti sent me, and you had all been asking for my thoughts on the UAP Flex HD, and I didn't really have any thoughts because I didn't have one, but Ubiquiti went ahead and sent this over. And so we'll be hooking this up. We'll hook this up to our UDM and see how we like this. We'll do some Wi-Fi testing with it as well. And I got to say, I mean, the box is definitely small, so we'll see. All right, over to the comments. Do you know if there's any Wi-Fi 6 Unify hardware coming? I don't want to switch managing software. So yeah, Amplify is not Unify. It's its own thing. It's more of the home market, where I would use Amplify, or where I use Amplify, is when I have a home user that doesn't really care about their Wi-Fi. They just want it to be reliable, fast. We'll throw an Amplify in, and we never have to touch it. We update the firmware, but we never have to tweak the settings or really do much with those systems at all. And I'm assuming that the Amplify Alien may be in that same category. Hey, Mexico's in the house. Good to see you, Dave. All right, let's see what else is in the box. So one thing that is on the Ubiquiti store that was really interesting to me was their patch cables. And I really find it interesting that like Ubiquiti and MikroTik, they can produce quality cabling at a fraction of the price that you'll pay if a cable or a transceiver or something said Cisco on it, or Juniper or whatever. Now, I thought these patch cables were cool. So these are the Ubiquiti patch cables that they sell on their web store. And the really unique thing about these, you can see they say UI.com there. The really unique thing about these is that it has this flexible boot, so you can bend it without having, not worrying about damaging the cable. Now, obviously, these are shorty shorts. They're about 6 to 8 inches, something like that. And you're going to use these to go from like a patch panel, to a switch. So this is going to be used in your rack or at your pop, wherever you're terminating stuff. So, hey, Damien, yes, you are amongst fellow geeks. You are in good company. Kerwin is in the house. Good to see you, Kerwin. So they sent me these patch cables, so you'll see me using these patch cables in videos all the time. Like when we start doing, like, I've got the rack over here, we'll do close-ups, on the rack. If I'm going to do an uplink using copper, I could use one of these. And they come in this anti-static bag that says Unify. Flip it over, there's all of the propaganda that goes along with it, or all the material, serial numbers and all that. San Antonio in the house. Glad you're here, Texas. All right, the other thing that was in this box, they did send me a hat. So they sent me a new hat, but I have that. That's on my hat shelf. But the other thing that was in the box is something that people have been asking about, and we're going to use it with the the UDM as well. And that is the Dream Machine beacon. So thanks to Ubiquiti for sending this out. And this is a device that I'm not going to do a full video on it, but let's open it up and see what it looks like here. Everybody's filtering in. Hey, Paris, France, Connecticut. What is my feeling regarding the update of the UDM firmware? It's very behind the current controller version. Ubiquiti team seems to take time to update it. So what I feel about that is it's a completely different, I think, and if anybody from Ubiquiti is watching this and can comment, because a lot of times my handlers will sneak into the live stream if they're still employed there, I think that it's a complete rewrite. And so I think they're trying to bring feature parity, but I don't know. I mean, there's no public roadmap. I have no roadmap of what's going when, where. I mean, we're all kind of waiting together to hear, how things are going to shake out. So let's take a look at this beacon. And there'll be a full video on this, but I want to show you at least physically what this thing looks like. Hey, Fresno, California in the house. Thought you would hang out with the cool kids. You may be in the wrong place. I'm kidding. We're all cool here. All right, so this is very interesting. So here is the beacon. And there's some plastic on the back there. I'll leave that there so I can rip that off and get that sound in the microphone. But so it's a unified Dream Machine beacon, and it plugs into the wall. So you can see that when this is plugged in, it's actually going to cover the entire, you're going to lose an entire receptacle to this. You will lose an entire receptacle. This thing is, but it's, it's pretty much like zero touch provisioning. Like you don't want to have to mess with it. You just hook this thing up and go. So here's something interesting in the package. So I'm going to have to, they don't send a printed QSG with this stuff anymore, but in the package, there's also like this little piece of rubber with an adhesive back. So I'm not sure if that, I wonder if that goes like here so that you're not like damaging the wall or something like that. But yeah, you will lose an entire wall receptacle to this. I mean, because it plugs right in. But if you've got a wall receptacle and you want Wi-Fi, this is works on mesh, I'm sure. We'll know more about this when we get it deployed. But the box is surprisingly thin too, the way they designed the box. It's pretty interesting. So this was tested 8/13/19. So, but they did send this over in the box of stuff. And you know what? We'll open the Flex HD as well. Cajoling Technologies is in the house. Thanks for the shout out in your video. Yes, we will be collaborating. We've got to figure out what that's going to look like. So, Anthony says that he thinks that this is actually 4 separate pads that you put in each corner. Let's check it out. I may have, when we got to it, figured that out, but for now, I probably did not know that, but let's see. And you are absolutely correct that we can pull each one of those little rubber balls off there and put it in the corners. And there's already some there, but you could put them there. You could put them anywhere. They're adhesive, so you can stick them anywhere. Thanks for pointing that out, Anthony. And Cajoling Tech, no, it looks like a knee pad, but it's not. So when the time we're said and done, I also have one of the plugs. They sent me one of the plugs that you've seen that they released. And what the plug is actually used for is it detects when there's a power outage, and you can only use it with the UDM. And it detects when there's a power outage, or I'm sorry, not a power outage. it detects when the internet goes down and you have your cable modem or your DSL modem plugged into this, and it'll automatically cycle the power. So I'm not 100% sure the intended market or audience for that. I mean, obviously, if you are in a place and you have problems with your internet and you have to reboot your ISP's equipment all the time, then this is probably going to be a real piece of hardware that you're gonna like. If you want to see the plug, I'll grab it real quick. I've got it plugged in the other room. But let me know in the comments if you want me to go grab that. So yeah, so this is the Dream Machine beacon. So we will be configuring this in a video. And we'll also be configuring the Flex HD. But we can go ahead and open this Flex HD real quick. And we'll see what this guy looks like. Yeah, the Flex Mini. So I have a Flex Mini, the 5-port switch, but I got mine when they first came out in the beta store. They weren't PoE, and I saw in the forum where a lot of people were wanting that switch to be powered via PoE as well as USB-C, and so Ubiquiti did a hardware revision, and now that little 5-port switch is going to be PoE. I can't talk much more about it because I think it's still in the beta store, so we got to be careful what we say. But and the UDM Pro, people are saying that that's going to be coming to general availability here soon. I can't speak for that. I don't know. I do have a UDM Pro from the latest beta, but and as far as I know, the hardware is not going to change. Right now, they are working on tuning the software, but we can't really talk a whole lot about that. Now, this thing is tiny. Like, this is the Flex HD access point. I mean, this thing really is. You don't realize how tiny it really is, but man, it is tiny, and it's got all the mounting stuff in the box. There'll be a video on this. It really surprises me, and maybe it shouldn't, that they sent a power injector with it, and this says AF right on the front. So this is 802.11 AF power injector. And let's see. Sean Woods is in the house. So Sean's going to be here to keep me from saying too much about too many things. But yeah, this thing is really like super tiny. Like, I'm trying to think of like something good to compare it with. Cloud Key Gen 2. All right, so you're familiar. You don't want to hold these the wrong way, because if the U is the wrong way, all the bits fall out. So this is the Cloud Key Gen 2, and this is the Flex HD AP. Isn't that crazy? Man, it's kind of crazy. So I'll take a picture after this with these sitting side by side. I'll make sure that the U is the right side up so we don't lose all the bits. And we'll go from there. You know, one thing, though, I'm looking at this Flex HD, and one of the first things that sticks out for me is that there is no... Oh, wait a minute. I couldn't see it because it's so faint. I thought there was not a U on this, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see it there or not. There's a... Yeah, there. It is so faint on there that it's super, super duper hard to see. But, yeah. All right. So... Anthony, what are you talking about? I cannot show you things that are in beta. So if there's something that's beta and I have it, I can't show it to you unless Ubiquiti has specifically in writing sent it to me. That is a stark difference from some of the other companies, specifically Grandstream. Grandstream wants me to show off the beta gear, the beta software, as long as I tell you that it's beta. So just a difference in you know, company policy there. But yeah, I do have one of the plugs, and I do have it configured and joined to UDM. You know, I think they're less than $20, and it's a pretty novel idea. I could see where they may get the idea to build other types of smart plugs and things like that from it. Yeah, Anthony. Ubiquiti is pretty specific about people that have beta gear, and you know the software can change, the hardware can change, the looks can change, and all that. So they just don't want, you know, people you know, talking about the beta products until they're finalized. So, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there. So that's what's in this box. So I'll grab another box. Here's another box. Let's see here. So this is coming soon Saturday, right? So what I've got here is I've got a Cisco SG35010P, and people have been asking for a while for Cisco videos. So now I have a switch. So Sean is asking, speaking of Grandstream, did you ever finish your Grandstream full stack videos? So I ran into a couple snags with that. And the real big snag for me was selecting who I wanted to recommend as the switch provider, because I did not want to recommend Ubiquiti for a Grandstream full stack. It was looking like HPE or Netgear, but now that I've got Cisco, it may end up being Cisco. But this is the SGE 350-10. It comes with rack mount ears, and I don't know. We'll have to look up the. Let's see here. Too many things. Not enough room. I have more space. You think I'd be more organized, but we were just talking today, and I've got more space, but I'm no more organized in my office as far as like how everything is laid out, really, than I was before. So now, what we're talking about doing is I've got a shelf here. And I've got 4 shelves back there that you can't see, and it's full of lab gear. And what I think I'm going to do is the shelf over here to the right of me that you can't see yet is going to become the voice over IP shelf. So there'll be a shelf, and it'll have all of the voice over IP products on it. And then I'm going to get some, Home Depot has some industrial shelving on sale for like $169 a section. And I think it's like 7 or 8 feet tall, and it's like 6 feet wide. So I'm going to get 2 of those, replace all the black plastic shelving, and go from there. So here is the Cisco SG35010P. It's a sweet looking little switch. It's got a weird power source. It's got one of those round keyed power source, 54 volts, but it does do some PoE, and we'll have to look this up. It's got 2 SFP ports, as well as you can either use SFP or the copper there. I don't think you can use them both together. It's got a USB on the front. It does come with rack ears, and it has a console port. I know a lot of people with the SG line, they were really upset with Cisco because Cisco pulled the command line stuff out because they like to work in the command line. Well, obviously this is going to have command line because we've got a console, so we'll have to see what that's all about. It's got some flexible other mounting options here on the bottom. And I don't know if this has a fan or if this is passively cooled, so that's something that we'll have to look into. But one thing that I don't know is I don't know if how much layer 3 this can do. So that's something we're going to have to look up. And let's see here. Then the other thing that I've got is I have the Cisco RV345P, and I know there were several of us YouTubers that Cisco reached out to and sent this out to us. And interestingly enough, Amazon is actually now a Cisco reseller. Let that sink in for a second while I move this box. So that's right. I said that Amazon is now a Cisco reseller. They've got their own store. I will, when I do the videos on the Cisco, that's where my links will go over to the store. So traditionally, sometimes manufacturers have, so you can buy gear. We'll talk about the logistics of this. So you can buy gear on Amazon as long as it's an authorized reseller, which is the links that we try to use. Then you don't have any warranty problems. But it used to be that Amazon was like buying like this product and they were turning around and selling it. And Amazon was not an authorized reseller. So even if you were buying from Amazon, you could run into warranty issues. But now, as far as I know, and it's probably not, but it's just my first experience with it, this will be the first time that Amazon has become like a reseller for one of these manufacturers and has like an official store. I was super surprised when the Cisco rep let me know that this was happening. And so he sent me the link. So we'll talk about that when we do the videos, but that is kind of a, to me, it's a strange precedent, something that we're all going to have to figure out together, because Amazon has the purchasing power to put a lot of smaller distributors just out of business. I mean, Amazon with one PO could buy as much gear as some of these smaller distributors buy in several years. So it's something that we're really, as an IT industry, we're going to have to keep an eye on it, and we're just going to have to see how it works out. And maybe Amazon's only going to ink deals with big players, or what they consider to be big players like Cisco. I don't know. So if anybody's got any information on that, I would love to know more about that. All right. So Lucy Cannon says, I've got to wonder with these small factor APs, how will they handle the heat? I understand it with the APAC mesh, it could be cold outside, but these don't have that luxury. So I think to a certain degree, the Flex Mini can be outside, but definitely the smaller these devices get and they have higher performance, it is absolutely a concern about heat and things like that. So it'll be interesting to see long term, because this access point hasn't been out in the wild a year yet. So and we'll get more information as real world usage starts to come in. Michael Phelps asks, oh yeah, Sean. Yeah, Cisco switches are traditionally very solid, but they traditionally came with a very solid price point and a very solid support price point. But it looks like Cisco is trying to adopt the same type of warranty. Actually, I think this Cisco switch now has a lifetime warranty. Let that sink in for a second. And I think the router has an extended warranty. Anyway, the warranties are way more than 1 year. And you get some level of support with that as well. So Cisco has seen how some of these other companies are handling that, and they're dipping their toe in, it would seem. And maybe they've been doing it for a while, but this is the first time they've reached out to me. So we'll see how it goes. I can only speak for, I was Cisco heavy on the enterprise a few years back, but there are other vendors that provide tremendous value that are not Cisco that I think definitely it's worth a look. All right, so any due date on the 6300 literature? So, Mr. Phelps, I'm not 100% sure what you're looking for as far as literature goes. There's a product sheet out there, but I don't know. I'll have to find out if I'm allowed to link to the product sheet. If I can link to that UCM 6300, excuse me. And by the way, anybody can go and apply. If you go over to the Grandstream, it's forums.grandstream.com. If you go over there, they open up certain times of the year spots in the beta program, and you can apply to become a beta tester over there. And so it's not something, that is so exclusive that you may never get a chance to do it. It's something that they open it up to. So you should definitely go check that out. But I don't know as far as the literature. I'll have to find out. Shoot me an email on that so I don't forget. And I'll make sure that I ask my handler over there to see if I can post a link to the product data sheet. I don't know if I can or not, because their beta rules, like I said, are very much different. I can show you beta products as long as I say they're beta products. And but as far as that literature, I'm not sure. So shoot me an email so I don't forget. Sean says the SG line had this policy for a while. Sean, are you talking about lifetime warranty? All right, so let's see what else has arrived in boxes over the last few days that we're going to be doing videos on. This is the stuff that I'm starting to get really excited about, the Grandstream stuff. All right, so first of all, for those of you that use sidecars, this is the Grandstream GBX20, and it is the extension or the sidecar, whatever you want to call it. Everybody calls these things something different, but it is the extension module for the new carrier grade line of phones. And it's got 2 pages, and I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I think this thing can do 40 buttons, and then you can also daisy chain, I think, 3 of these. So we're going to do a video on this because we'll configure it, and we will put it on we'll put it on a phone. I want to thank Grandstream for sending this gear over. I always love it when I'm able to get my hands on this stuff so that I can recommend it, if somebody's looking for it, or if you have questions or whatever. So that's one thing when I do my consulting work. I try to be able to have one piece of equipment, or at least be able to touch the equipment and get a config from it for anything that I'm touching for someone else. So, and that means that, over the years, I've bought and sold all different kinds of equipment, because I might need to buy, a switch for a project, and I may never use that switch again. So I might find it used, figure out the operating system, and then turn around and resell it, on eBay. So not uncommon for me to be, buying, trading, selling hardware. Some of this stuff the manufacturer do send me, like Grandstream sent me this. So thank you to them. All right, here's the next thing. So this is the Grandstream GRP 2615. Like I said, there's going to be individual photos on this, but while we're here and we're talking, we will go ahead and just open the box and take a look. So this is another one of the new enterprise, or the carrier grade phones. So you can see this almost reminds me of the GXP 2170, which right now is my daily driver. And these phones are nice. They're very solid. And I don't know if you know this, but Grandstream, from what I've heard, actually OEMs phones for other voice over IP companies. So you may buy a Snom or some other manufacturer, and Grandstream may have actually made the phone. So I don't have a complete list of those, and that's just maybe a rumor that I heard. But it came from a couple credible, or people that I deem to be credible. So that's pretty nice. All right, here's the other phone that they sent me. And like I said, you're going to get to see these all hooked up, powered up. This is the GRP 2616, and all of these enterprise phones are now available. And this one, there's a one that's comparable to this. It's a little smaller, but one thing that I really like, they have this full color LCD. The over here for the MWIs, or not the MWIs, the BLFs over here. So this is a full color LCD when we program the things here. So I'm super super excited about these phones, and you're going to see these. So one thing that Grandstream did with the new carrier-grade phones is we have different models of phone, but we have one firmware for all the phones. So that means that Grandstream is going to be able to identify and take care of bugs much more efficiently. And now, as administrators, we don't have to worry about 15 different types of or 15 different model firmware. It's going to streamline support, and it's going to make your life easier, my life easier, and Grandstream's life easier to have one firmware that works across all the devices. So these videos will be coming out really soon. Now, another thing that Grandstream is supposed to have this quarter is an on-prem version of the GDMS manager, which allows you to manage all of your phones and ATAs. Right now it's cloud-based, does have dual-factor authentication. So if you are using GDMS, make sure you turn on two-factor authentication. It's just like any other cloud-based controller software is, it's out there. So you need to make sure that you're using common sense and best practice security to ensure that your account doesn't get compromised. And it doesn't matter who has that software. If you've got anytime you have any platform like that, make sure that you are securing it appropriately. But they are going to have an on-premise version of the GDS manager, which is super exciting. So I can't wait to see that hit the firmware store so we can go out and grab that and get it running. All right, so greeting, I think is that Julio and Dexter. Dexter, how you doing? Saw you poking around the Ubiquity Facebook group the other night. I think something about VLANs or something, but I didn't chime in because I know since you and I work together, you've probably learned quite a bit and don't need me hampering you asking questions. All right, so at this time, I showed you kind of the new stuff that's coming out, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the phone number up on the screen here, and we'll go ahead and open this up for calls. So I'm going to turn that up, and all right, there's the phone number, 309-571-1304. That'll get you directly here. And if you want to call in and ask some questions, we will open this up for a few minutes. And I'm trying to think what else. Oh, yeah. So I don't know if I told you, but I've got a podcast that I've started. Tim and I used to have a podcast, and it's still kind of there, but the new podcast is going to specifically talk about the networking, voice over IP, security industry, and I am going to concentrate on certain companies and things like that and have special guests. And so I have the first 3 to 4 guests lined up already, and so I will be starting to record those this week. And if anybody here knows the person who actually created the Backify software, I have a video coming out on Backify. But if anybody knows that person, or if that person's watching, and you could get a hold of me or point them in my direction, I would love to interview the person that created Backify. So, all right, phone line's still open. Nobody calling in yet. What else do we want to talk about? Let's go out and let me open a web browser here. Let's see. I got to get some stuff out of the way. And let's get a web browser open. And we will go to there's something else I want to talk about with Grandstream. And let's see here. So nobody's called in yet, so I'm going to switch away from this real quick, and we're going to flip over to here. And of course, you know, McAfee comes pre-installed. So over here on the Grandstream website, they have facility management and they have like the facility access system. So they've got the GDS 3710 and the GDS 3705. Now I have a GDS 3705 that they sent, but I actively deploy the GDS 3710s. One thing that I find with this system, one thing that I find that people ask me the most about and that people tend to struggle the most with is actually wiring the unit. So I have come up with, for me, what is a rapid kind of deployment system for these. And so I'm going to do a video on that. And if anybody else has deployed these, you know that the wiring can sometimes be challenging. So, yeah, if you've got any of these deployed, put it over in the comments if you understand that sometimes the wiring can be challenging. But it's access control, right? We wouldn't want, if this thing is outside, I guess we wouldn't want it to be not challenging, right? So, let's see here. All right, back here. So like I said, I'm going to create a video. Now, Grandstream already has a video on how to wire this, but I'm going to create another video on how to wire it and show you how I do it. I've had a lot of trial and error, a lot of hours just tinkering with the wiring on this to get it the way that I want it and to be able to knock it out quickly. So that'll be coming. Michael Kellogg says, yes, he's put one in at a daycare. Michael Kellogg, how do you like the GDS? I recommend them a lot, even over the Axis door station, just because we know that it's Grandstream SIP. There's going to be 100% compatibility with the UCM. And you don't have to just use it with the UCM. You can use it with any SIP-based system. Excuse me. So, all right, Dexter says, be interested to hear a local company had a compromised network and racked up a $6,000 above normal phone bill due to this. Jeffrey Taylor says, have you tried the Unify HD Flex? No, Jeff, I haven't. I just got it in a box of stuff the other day. So we are going to fire it up and test it out. But that's kind of the stuff that I've got in queue. And like I said, there's going to be all of the Grandstream phone videos and things like that. And unless anybody really has anything that they want to ask, if anybody wants to call in, I've got a few other things that I do need to take care of, but just wanted to, before we wrap it down for the day, just see if anybody's got anything. Yeah, Michael says it's not without some quirks, but is doing well. Yeah, and I think that you know, any manufacturer, you know, when you're trying to figure out how to make things work on a device, maybe a lot of us want things to happen on a device that the manufacturer didn't think of, they didn't intend for it to do. You know, so if you are pushing a device to its boundaries and it's still working, congratulations. That's awesome for you. I do that a lot. In fact, I'm sure that sometimes when I start talking about point-to-point wireless and stuff like that, that people over at Ubiquity who know me, when I start talking about shooting through trees and you know, not necessarily having antennas like looking at each other and all kinds of stuff, like they're like, you know, because, you know, one person says that they did it and now somebody goes out and tries to replicate it and they can't make it work. And now all of a sudden there's a support mess and things like that. So a lot of that stuff, when we're pushing the envelope, we won't necessarily do that. Okay, so Jordan says, have you seen the new Amcrest video doorbell? I have not, but let me look up the Amcrest video doorbell, because anything that is OnVIF compatible, and I'm assuming that the Amcrest video doorbell would be OnVIF compatible, maybe. I'm always interested in that, anything that I can keep the video local. So thanks for pointing this out, Jordan. So let me get everybody over there. All right, so here's the Amcrest website, and this is the smart home video doorbell, 2.4 gigahertz. And I was just having a conversation with someone this morning about devices being 2.4 gigahertz, and companies do it because it's inexpensive and it travels far, right? So, all right, so let's look at the video doorbell. So it's a 2 megapixel camera, does full HD, 140 degree viewing angle, night vision 16 feet, motion detection 16 feet, weatherproof, micro SD storage up to 128 gigabytes, class 10 or higher. It's got H.264, G711, built-in mic and speaker for two-way audio. It does not support 5 gigahertz. All right, so it's 4.7 by 2.1.1, so it's pretty slim. But what I want to know is, let's see, 2.4, flexible storage. I want to know if it's OnVIF compatible. I mean, you would think it would be, right? Night vision. So it says it can use an SD card or the smart home cloud. You can do mobile viewing with iOS or Android. Not looking good for us here, Jordan. Mounting bracket, built-in speaker, doorbell, built-in mic. And I wonder if they made this or if this is like a Hikvision rebrand, because there's another one out there. Oh, man, does anybody else have this and anybody know? Real quick, let me look at the other questions. We'll get back to this. Willie, do you use any DNS blocking solution like Pi-hole or PF Blocker NG? If you don't mind me asking, please. So when I do DNS blocking, I usually use a DNS service. Pi-hole is great. And anytime that you have the ability or the power to do that in an appliance on site, it's fantastic. But I don't have any videos. I once, a long time ago, did a video on how to block ads on your Edge router, and it got my channel demonetized. So I haven't tinkered with any of that since, because I don't want to completely lose my channel. So, all right, let's see here. Tech specs. Let's see if this thing's got anything else. I don't care about the under the tech specs, they give us an Amazon checkout URL. That is not what I wanted. Let's see here. What's included? Reviews, verified buyer, no cloud required. Replay directly from the micro SD card over cell phone or local LAN. But I'm not seeing. Let's see. If anybody's got this, can you tell us, is it OnVIF compatible? Can we join this to a standard NVR? Be pretty sweet if we could. Let's see, support. So I don't have anything there. So there is, and I'm going to switch back over here real quick while I look for it. There is, so Hikvision, who has been banned by the federal government in the United States, they do have a Wi-Fi doorbell, and it's several other companies actually resell it, rebranded. And so let's see here. And I actually know somebody who has one of these, and they like it. They say it's a little difficult to get it set up, but that once it is set up, it runs without issue. So here is, and I can't remember the other brand, the other company that's taking this from them, and but you can be $139.99. How much is it? So it's $220 over here on Amazon, but this may be a different model over here. It looks different. Let's see. So I think this is Hikvision as well as this. So this kind of looks like, is this a different, that's why I'm wondering if this is like a different model. Yeah, so this does RTSP. If it's saying OnVIF, I'm not seeing it. But let's see what else we can find here. Okay, so here's the actual Hikvision website. And two-way audio, full duplex, G711, H.264, TCP/IP, RTSP. But I will tell you that the person that I was working with, they have the one that looks like this, and it is being recorded using OnVIF. It is being recorded to Synology surveillance station, and it works like a charm. So even though it's not saying it, somehow it either has OnVIF or the Synology surveillance station, has everything built into the software that it needs to connect to this. I'm losing my train of thought here, trying to read, but here it says compatible with select Hikvision NVRs from manufacturers such as Heath Zenith, Honeywell. But I think that Hikvision OEMs for all these people. So what I can tell you is that this comes as another brand, and it does work with the Synology surveillance station. So, all right. So Michael Kellogg says on Amcrest support for Blue Iris generic OnVIF. Yeah. So the Amcrest is the same way. How much is this Amcrest? I like the Amcrest cameras. We've got it some deployed with a customer, and I've got one here. And I don't know, they're just kind of, it's not something where somebody's bought like 25 of them, but they're sprinkled all over installations. And every single one of them works really great, and the price is inexpensive. Now, you don't get a lot of fancy analytics and things like that, but for recording video, motion, things like that, works great. You plug it into Synology, let Synology do some of that heavy lifting, or let your NVR system do some of that heavy lifting, and you shouldn't have any issues. And this is a really good price, $104.99. You know what? Hey, Michael, if you know, so one thing that I don't know, look at this, GPS tracker for vehicles, $39.99. I wonder what the monthly service for that is. But anyway, Michael, if you know, this doorbell, does it have to be hardwired? That's one thing I didn't see, was the power requirement. Does it get plugged in where your doorbell? Okay, so here we go. So there's a chime kit. So it looks like maybe we wire it in where your existing doorbell goes. So what I want is a PoE doorbell, and I suppose I could figure out how to convert this for $104, especially since the video is not going to be stuck in the cloud unless I want it to be. And that's really what I want. I want my doorbell video to not have to go to the cloud. I don't want to give access. I don't want to have to. It's really popular. I don't know if you've seen it across the country, but here in Peoria, the police department had like a $50,000 grant, and they were underwriting Ring devices. You could apply and you could get a Ring device, but you have to give them like access to the device. If something happens and my devices catch it, then I would offer the video up. But I'm not going to give even law enforcement like carte blanche access to my equipment. That's just not going to happen. Yeah, I definitely like devices like this that are not cloud-based. So Amcrest has never sent me anything, but I would not be adverse to them sending me this doorbell, because I would definitely give it a fair shake. And at that price, maybe I'll just pick one up. My wife has been on me about replacing our doorbell. So, or if somebody's interested in a Ring, I have a brand new Ring Pro. I even have the wedge kit, and I was getting ready to install it. And if you go back, you'll see and maybe I didn't publish the video, but I started to do a video on it. And then some stuff came out about Ring security. So I paused, and then more stuff started coming out. And then within the last 12 months, it's like hit the fan with Ring and how inadequate their security is. And so if anybody's interested in a Ring Pro, and you had this, I would trade you even up if that's something that you're even interested in. So let me know. Hit me up in an email. So, yeah, so Michael Kellogg says 16 to 30 volt transformer spec sheet makes it look like Wi-Fi only. So in that case, you have to test your... and one thing that Ring doesn't necessarily tell you, or Google doesn't tell you. Now, SimpliSafe, I saw, SimpliSafe has a doorbell that actually has lower voltage requirements, so you don't have to change out your transformer. But with a lot of these, like Ring and the Nest, and I don't know about this, 16 to 30 volts probably, you would have to change out your transformer if you don't have one that can put out that kind of voltage. Otherwise, your device is not going to charge properly. You'll have all kinds of weird issues if it works at all. So that sounds like we probably have to have some sort of a transformer or something for this. But all right, David Rager says, have you heard any updates on when the USG Pro is going to support DNS for WAN failover? Has it ever supported DNS for WAN failover? I mean, I'm not 100% sure what you're talking about, but USG in general, the failover is very, 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 very limited. It's outbound internet traffic only. So your port forwarding doesn't transfer, your VPN doesn't transfer, and you can't even do multiple WAN IPs with a USG unless you're doing small offices with a single IP. I mean, the USG, even the Pro, is just not a device that I'm going to go to, But if I got a customer or a site that is, needs a couple VLANs and a little bit of security and public Wi-Fi, and it's going to have one IP and not do anything. It's not even complicated stuff that's happening on the WAN. It's like normal stuff for businesses with more than one IP. I'm not going to use the USG. I'm going to probably go with something different. So, but yeah, I'm definitely interested in this smart home doorbell. I'm 100% sure we could figure out a way to wire it up and make it run in the office. So we'll see. I may end up picking one of these guys up. Yeah, Jordan, I want a PoE door camera as well, instead of having to use the transformer. To me, it's nice to have it in my, not only to have Ethernet to the front door, then I probably have a better cable path than just the thin doorbell wires in case I want to do something else, like, put an electronic strike or something on the front door. Yeah, Jordan, there is a PoE doorbell. Ring makes one. So here's a Ring wired power over Ethernet injector. So there's the injector, but Ring, so interestingly enough, this thing came up. So we'll check that thing out. So here are some PoE doorbells. Looks like somebody did doorbellexpert.com. Because it's on the internet, it is so. Let's see here. And I'm sure with a name like Doorbell Expert that they know a hell of a lot more about doorbells than I do. All right, so just from the Ring collection, here's a wired power over Ethernet injector. So it looks like 2 Ring device. So internet in, power. I wish I could see more about this thing and what the side of it, what the profile looks like, where the wires go. Enable power over Ethernet for your stick-up cam wired with the Ring PoE adapter. Simply connect your AC adapter and Ethernet cable to the PoE adapter and run an Ethernet camera or an Ethernet cable to your stick-up cam wired. So the Doorbell Elite, that's what I wanted to show you. Okay, so here's the Ring Video Doorbell Elite. Okay, $500 for a doorbell, and you don't even get to keep the video local. You have to use the Ring service. You're literally paying Ring $500 to take your video. And if you think that they're not analyzing it and Amazon isn't analyzing it, you haven't been paying attention. I mean, I'm going to give you $500 to invade my privacy. $500 to get PoE. I don't even know what to say. A professional grade flush mount smart doorbell hardwired with power over Ethernet requires advanced DIY skills or professional installation. I used to really like the Ring products, and even before all hell broke loose over the last 12 months with their security, I started getting cold feet on them. And yeah, anything where I can't keep my video local, I'm going to have a real problem with it. So I've got a Ring doorbell if anybody wants to talk about bartering for it. It's never been used. So it's the Ring Pro. It is, let's see. It's this guy right here. It's never been hooked up. I do have the wedge kit. So if you're interested in it, let me know. I've got it all here. All the things. I even have a transformer kit to replace your transformer to put out the proper amount of power. All right, so doorbellexpert.com. Get your comprehensive buying guide in 2020. So the Doorbird, I've heard about this. All right, pick a PoE doorbell with at least Cat 6. Why? You know, who's going to... Cat 5e is going to perform in your house as good as Cat 6. So, I don't know. Some of this stuff. All right, choose a PoE doorbell with high definition night vision. Yep. Motion detection alerts. Definitely. Pay attention to the storage. Typically, they're the two most popular video storage ways for a smart video doorbell: cloud and local SD card. So if you don't want to pay monthly fees, check out some nice options. So here is the video, or the doorbellexpert.com choice for local local video doorbells. So I think when I opened it up, all right, so we'll look at all these tabs I got open here. All right, so this is a 2K resolution, real-time response, no monthly fees, secure local storage, ready for any weather, free wireless electronic chime. So this must be what they're talking about right here. Is it comes with this chime. They don't charge you for the chime. It's not a bad looking unit, but tell me that doesn't look like the Hike Vision. That looks very much like that Hike Vision we were looking at. I don't know if HD is going to be all blurry like that either. A lot of marketing companies, I think sometimes, or the marketing component of these companies sometimes gets a cart before the horse. No monthly fee, so it looks like it's got onboard 4 gigabytes of storage. Human detection reduces false alerts. So I did a video last year, if you go back, and the brand is eluding me at the moment because of all these things we're talking about. But they were supposed to have human detection, and I tested the human detection, and it detected my chickens as chicks as humans. So it was a big fail on the human detection there. Real-time response. Hey, it's me. Come on in. Look at this. Cupcakes. Perfect neighbor situation going on here. Ready for any weather, -4 to 120 degrees, 122 degrees Fahrenheit. And kudos to you, UFI Life, for using Fahrenheit. Resist. So let's see here. What else? It's 4x3 instead of 16x9 on the aspect there. So all it says is that we can keep the video storage local. What it doesn't tell us is, will it hook into an NVR? So this is something that we would definitely have to experiment with. I don't know that it's worth it to experiment at $159.99. All right, so we'll close that one, but this is definitely an option if you don't want to go to the cloud. All right, so here's that Doorbird, $416. $416. I got to be honest with you. I'm buying a Grandstream. You know, I'm buying a Grandstream door station for $416. So even the highest priced one that I found right here at the telecom spot. So this is, you know, fully on VIF compliant. It's got RFID built into it. You can get the flush mount, in-wall mounting option, and it's fully SIP compliant, right? So you get, and it's PoE, and it works with all kinds of access control systems, right? And I mean, it runs a lot of open standards, and it's $271. So the Doorbird, I have read a little bit about this, is apparently you can keep it local. So you can order a stainless steel add-on plate. That's interesting. Or you can just buy the one that's already silver. So you can get the white one, get the stainless steel add-on plate, or you can just buy the stainless steel one. $416. I'm still going to buy the Grandstream. All right. Video doorbells without monthly subscriptions. Top 4 picks. All right, here we go. Top 4 picks. Zoomy Mall video doorbell. All right, let's check it out on Amazon. I have to remember to clear my cookies after I do this and cache. All right. Oh, look. So the UFI made the list. So we'll check that out. Honeywell X Skybell with 7-day free cloud storage. I thought that we didn't have to have cloud storage, but we'll check it out. We'll see. And LaView. And now I think this LaView is a rebranded Hikvision. All right, so here is the Wi-Fi video doorbell camera with chime, two-way audio, waterproof, wide angle, wireless door, security battery camera, night vision, cloud storage is optional, 32 gigabytes, pre-installed, $89.99. So wireless and rechargeable battery. It takes less than 5 minutes to set up. The battery lasts 2 to 5 months. Tips: fully charged when use it for the first time. Okay, it's also 2.4 gigahertz. Does not work with 5 gigahertz. You're going to see a lot of that in these types of devices. So this one may be, let's see. Make sure your protection stays up around the clock. We use a waterproof design, and it offers both cloud storage and local micro SD storage. So I don't know. I bet it's still talking to the cloud. What do you think? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. I think that this thing is still talking to any of these things that have cloud storage optional, and it has an app that you really don't have to do anything to set it up. I think it's probably still talking to the cloud. All right. So Alain, sorry if I butchered that, has the Ring Elite but didn't pay. Got it for testing. You got it because they're spying on you. That's why they gave it to you. Testing. How many people can we give these away to and they'll give up their privacy? All right. Yeah, and Michael said, couldn't you use the GDS 3710 as a doorbell? And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Because for the price of some of these other doorbells, I can get that, and I can get the Grandstream intercom, and I can peer them. Just peer them. I don't need a UCM. And in fact, if I had multiple SIP-based speakers, I could peer that with all of them. So yeah, the GDS 3710 is a very attractive option for this. Dahua doorbell uses 16 to 24 volts. I use their cameras and they seem pretty good. Yeah, Dahua is one of those that when you buy Dahua, make sure that you're getting Dahua. There's a ton of Chinese knockoffs of the Dahua. And you can tell by looking at the firmware. They even rip the firmware off, but they pull the Dahua out of there. Sometimes it is OEM, Dahua OEM, but man, there's a lot of black market stuff out there. Bob Carpenter's here. Yo, Bob. Hey, James, shoot me an email and we'll talk about that Ring doorbell. All right, so back to the doorbells that we've got on the screen here. Let's see. All right, so here's that UFI, $159.99. And, all right. But her hands are full. You know, she's carrying the plate of things. So somebody should open the door. Not just tell her to come in. All right. So $160 may not be too bad. Here's the Honeywell. I've never seen this. Didn't know that Honeywell owned Skybell. I've heard the name Skybell before. Didn't realize that it was Honeywell. It's got a 1-year warranty, HD, 15 frames per second, H.264. It's got a special mounting thing there. Let's see. What is this? Skybell. Some sort of a power. What is this? Doorbell adapter. It says it makes digital door chime compatible. Okay. I thought this was a PoE. Yeah, see, there's the Skybell that I'm used to right there, but I thought that this Honeywell was supposed to be. All right, so it's not PoE. 4 AAA batteries, which means it's probably going to be definitely Wi-Fi, probably 2.4 gigahertz. Video storage of up to 500 megabytes of clips. So what we don't know is if this is. We don't know if this is OnVIF compatible. Let's see here. 1080 free cloud recording. So that probably answers our question there. All right. Here's the LaView. That is a rebranded Hikvision if I've ever seen it right there. But these things are growing on me. I don't know. I'm going to have to make a decision. Definitely is not going to be Ring. Here's the Hikvision that we just saw rebranded as LaView. Good old B&H. Which, by the way, if you ever order anything from B&H, always check the box when it gets delivered. I had some issues. Like, I think that thieves see B&H photo on there and they start salivating. I actually had somebody cut open the box and steal something out and tape the box back up, and FedEx was none the wiser. But Bob Carpenter, yes, I did. You missed it. I was showing off this little Cisco SG 300 switch, so we're definitely going to be having some fun with that pretty soon. But yeah, Jordan, you should develop your own product line. You know what? If there was, you know what? Let's. I love Raspberry Pis, and let's see here, Raspberry Pi doorbell. So I'll bet that there is already, a DIY smart doorbell for $40 with the RPi 2 or 3 Ring doorbell equivalent. So there are already people figuring out how to use the Raspberry Pi to do this. Doesn't surprise me. People are extremely resourceful and extremely, extremely smart. So, yeah. All right, so that is, facial recognition. Actually, in the state of Illinois, Google has disabled the ability to turn on the facial recognition because it's illegal to use it in the state of Illinois. So Nest won't even let you turn it on. Nest, I said that right? Yeah, Google Nest won't even let you turn that on. But Vergata or whatever they are, the people that left Meraki and started their own cameras, and they're supposed to be the greatest thing since sliced bread. By the way, if you're using those, kudos to you. They're not for me. No RTSP. Everything is in the cloud. You cannot get an RTSP stream. It's a completely closed system that has to go to the cloud. And they allow you to turn that facial recognition on and off. So that's kind of on them. But that's it for the day. I want to thank everybody for being here. If you've got questions, you can email me. But look for you see all the things that are coming in all the videos. Of course, there'll be some actual tutorials coming as well. But that is going to wrap it up for this Saturday. As always, I want to thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.